Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I'm going to share my screen. Well, thanks for inviting me to speak today about Speechcraft. I'm excited to share my insight to it. I'm going to talk about what is Speechcraft for those who don't know. I'm going to talk about why would a club like Spotlight Toastmasters want to host Speechcraft. I'll talk about my qualifications to speak about it, talk about the benefits, and then if you decide to host the workshops, how to proceed, what you need to think about, and also some financial considerations. And probably will be some time at the end for a couple questions, but I'm willing to answer any questions afterwards, like by email or whatever. I can help you if you decide to host the workshop any way I can. So first of all, what is Speechcraft? Well, I refer to it as a well-kept secret by Toastmasters because I don't think it's really advertised very widely. A lot of people don't even know about it, or let alone what it is. According to Toastmasters, it's a program for experienced Toastmasters to help non-members become the best communicators they can be. Originally, it was formed as a club tool to recruit members. They've also promoted it as like a quick communications course for people that maybe don't want to join a club, or for corporate clubs forming, they've used it for that as well. So why host a Speechcraft workshop? Well, I think for Spotlight Toastmasters and a lot of clubs, it's for recruiting new members. And it's a chance for someone to gain skills via Toastmaster for an upcoming event maybe, or like I said, it's just in forming a new club. But for you guys, it's going to be recruiting members, I would think. So why am I qualified to speak on the subject? Well, I looked into Speechcraft in 2021 for my club as a recruiting tool. And as I did that, I was asked by someone in the district, I won't mention any names, but it was Angela Barris. And she wanted to know if I was interested in hosting a couple of workshops for a local company who was considering opening clubs. And I said, sure. I was between jobs at the time. I had extra time. I didn't know really much of anything about what it consisted of. I mean, I had a general idea, but it was kind of all new to me. I did call someone who had hosted a workshop to kind of get their view of what it would be, and it was somewhat helpful. Toastmasters had just rolled out their digital version of Speechcraft. Before that, it was paper, so it was kind of a new system. So the company was Ikata.com, and they had two offices that they wanted to run these workshops in. And unfortunately, I didn't get to travel to Amsterdam and Singapore to run these workshops. I had to do it from Seattle. But the Amsterdam office was set up for 7 a.m. on Thursdays for an hour and a half for 8 sessions, April 8th through May 27th. Singapore was, again, 8 sessions, 6 p.m. Tuesday, which was 9 a.m. Wednesday on Singapore time, which kind of threw my mind a little bit. And that was May 18th through July 6th. So there's a little bit of overlap there, if you'll notice. Both of these had 10 Speechcrafters, which is what Toastmasters refers to the people who enroll in the workshop as Speechcrafters. Just FYI, they also refer to mentors as guides, which I find a little strange because mentorship is a big deal in Toastmasters. I don't understand why they call them guides, but they are in fact mentors. So I was quite busy during this 2-month period, 3-month period. And my club didn't really support me. I didn't do it for my club because my club really wasn't into it. And I had trouble recruiting them to even help me with these workshops. So I had to go way outside my comfort zone. I had to go outside my club, my area, and my division to get people to volunteer to help with the workshop. But I did that, and it was a good exercise for me. I also volunteered as a mentor for Angela's set of workshops for another company that had national offices. And I really enjoyed the mentorship part of this. You mentor Speechcrafters through the whole process, help them with their speeches. You do evaluate the first couple of speeches. So that was really what I loved doing. What are the benefits of Speechcraft? There are many. For the Speechcrafter, the benefits are similar to what they would have if they joined the club and went to weekly meetings and actively participated in the club. They get help with public speaking skills. They get to practice in a supportive environment. Very importantly, they learn how to receive and give feedback. And if they join a club, they get Pathways credit for the speeches they delivered during the workshops. They can actually do up to 7 speeches, which gets them to about midpoint of level 2 of a pathway if they choose that. And it's also added, it's fairly reasonably priced program. And it's a bargain when you consider what you get for the communication skills. For the club, you get to recruit new members. They're not just new members that are off the street and don't know anything about Toastmasters, but they've been through this workshops. They've given several speeches. They've evaluated other people. They know how the basic session works. So they're going to be ready to go the first time they join your club. And then it's also going to be a fundraiser. If you charge them enough money over your cost and they decide not to join, your club gets to keep that money. So that's kind of you can actually add to your treasury a little bit. I'd rather have the new members than the money, but not everybody's going to join. But it is a benefit. Benefits for the coordinator, besides the admiration of all your fellow Toastmasters and all that, you get credit towards the DTM award for being a coordinator. And I had to add that I really admire Toastmasters as a global organization that promotes communication and leadership. And so anything that improves communications to me is a benefit, which adds to means happier people. Let's say you decide to go forward with planning a workshop. Here are things you need to consider. You need to select a coordinator. This is somebody who should be tenacious about speechcraft and be the one who's going to organize it, develop committees, whatever, or assign people to delegate things, tasks to do to set up the workshops. They're very critical. Decide how many speechcrafters you want. The speechcrafter logins, which gives speechcrafters access to the website and their materials, are sold in bundles of 5. You have to go. I would recommend you go towards 5 speechcrafters, but you can go more. Depends on how your recruiting is. Decide how many sessions you want your speechcraft to be. Toastmasters recommends 4, 6, or 8 sessions for workshops. If you had 5, you could probably do 6 sessions. With 10 people, I found it difficult to get enough time scheduled for everybody as it was. So 8 sessions seemed to be the minimum. And that was 8 1.5-hour sessions. You could schedule the sessions as part of your regular club meetings if you wanted to take the place of them. That would be up to you whether you want to do that or not. And you decide when you want to schedule them. What time of the year do you schedule this 4, 6, or 8-week set of special sessions? Probably not August when everybody here is on vacation. So those considerations are important. Then you have to purchase your bundles from Toastmasters. The 5 logins, which enables you to have 5 speechcrafters, cost $50. So like I said, you purchase 5. If you want more than 5, you have to purchase another 5. It's not add one more. Then you have to recruit your speechcrafters, which is probably the difficult part of this. Toastmasters recommends that you contact maybe guests from the past to see if they might be interested in a workshop. Maybe they didn't join because they didn't want to commit to twice-a-month meetings on Saturdays. Maybe they just weren't sure this might be something that's appealing to them, to be more of a focused set of meetings to develop skills more quickly, kind of an immersive Toastmasters. And then you recruit mentors. Toastmasters recommends 1 mentor per speechcrafter. One of our sessions, we did 1 mentor per 2, which worked out fine. Again, I'd recommend if you get people from your club to be mentors, that would be best. You might have to go outside your club to get some mentors. Set the meeting agendas. Toastmasters gives you templates for the sessions. You just kind of have to modify those to suit your needs. And I kind of did it as I went, because after the first session is going to be organizational, set up how the program works for all of the people involved. Second session is your icebreaker speeches. So for instance, everybody gets an icebreaker speech and everybody gets evaluated on their icebreaker speech. That pretty much takes the whole session. The next week is when people can opt in whether they want to speak or not. So they sign up for whether they want to give a speech that 3rd week or not. And then you have to adjust your agendas as you go. Guest speakers, this is really, if your club is readily involved, club members can do the educational presentations in each meeting. First meeting that we talk about the icebreaker speech, what it amounts to, and then second session, you have a speech focus area that you're going to present, and that's what their speeches should be the following week. So the second session, the speech topic was organizing your speech. So it's a Toastmaster presentation on organizing your speech. And then that's what the people should speak if they choose to speak the next week. And then there's a different speech area every week. And then there's other meeting roles to fill, which again, if your club can help with that, there's timer, there's a general evaluator. You could have a Toastmaster for each meeting. I had co-coordinators for both of my sessions. So we just, every other week, we filled in as a Toastmaster. That's can be done. And also, if there are some weeks when you do have extra time, I try to fit in table topics because I thought that was something that's useful to a lot of people and they enjoy that, although it's not part of the typical session. So it's pretty much like a Toastmaster meeting, just a little bit modified. So you might wonder how much speech crafters pay for this. Well, Toastmasters has a limit on that. You can charge nothing, or you can charge up to $90. The $90 is 2 international dues periods. 2 times 45 is 90. That's the maximum you can charge. And you're going to pay $50 for each bundle of 5 logins. That's $10 per person if you have 5 speech crafters. So if you charge more than the $10, you can use that money to incentivize the speech crafters by waiving, like, say, their first 6 months international dues, and possibly the initial $20 new member fee. So it's kind of nice to have that latitude. So for instance, if you have 5 speech crafters, you charge them $50 for the workshop, which is a pretty good deal. That's $250. Your cost is $50. You have $200 to play around with, to give people, waive their dues or whatever if they join. Again, if you charge the maximum, you'd have $400 for that. In my case, I had the 2 workshops. Nobody was going to join my club from Singapore or Amsterdam. So I used it as a fundraiser for the club. And I think we charged them, there were 10 per workshop, and we charged $50. So I ended up getting $900 for our club fund, which was kind of nice. Here's what a sample agenda would look like. This is session 2 for Singapore. So it's pretty packed with the speeches and evaluations. Speeches are a little shorter in Speechcraft, which might be appealing to some people. Icebreakers are only 2 to 3 minutes, and evaluations are 1 to 2 minutes. So in this case, I'm showing 5 icebreakers, but they're actually 10 for that day. Everybody had to give their icebreaker, 10 evaluations. Had a little bit of time for intro at the beginning, and then we had our speech organization educational segment for 5 minutes. We had a breakout session for 10 minutes where the mentors and the speech crafters meet in breakout rooms. And then we did general evaluation for 5 minutes by Joyce, who's a member of the Nordstrom Club. And then David Flood, my co-coordinator, gave the What's Up Next Week rundown. So I hope that gives you an idea of how a Toastmaster workshop or Speechcraft workshop would go. And I would say, I just want to extend that I will help. If you decide to go this route, I would be more than willing to help you, get started if you have questions, and you can send me questions after this meeting too, if you have any. And I do have a little bit of time left.